some plants growing on my island, and when the harvest comes, we'll be smiling on my island. I've got some waves all around my island, round my island. Go surfing every day on my island, on my island.
It's very easy to take the beauty of Cortes Island, the natural world, for granted. It's very easy to just assume that lake's out there and it's going to always be there. But 3 years ago, when we had the algae bloom, we all realized, well, the human community can impact the lake and cause changes which are not pleasant, that we don't want. All through our septic systems and our water systems, because of fertilizer, our livestock, and so forth, we are putting nutrients into the water table, the nutrients that we consume that flow through us into our septic and out into the water table. Those nutrients are primarily nitrogen and phosphorus. So we are feeding nitrogen and phosphorus into the lake. Now we might think that's a good thing because they're nutrients, and what could be wrong with nutrients? But the problem is that we're feeding the algae blooms. These are the nutrients for the algae. So we're now very concerned that the lake may be moving toward a process we call eutrophication. Once the algae has used up all the nutrients, it begins to die off. And as the algae dies off, it consumes all the oxygen in the lake. There's not enough oxygen for a healthy fish species. The algae falls to the bottom, covers everything. It can cover all the fish eggs and frog eggs and so forth. So less or few of these species are born, and it just simply kills off the other life forms in the lake. It's also very unpleasant. The water doesn't taste good. You can smell it in the air. It's just not a pleasant environment. There are examples of this in Canada, in the United States, in China, in every country in the world that have human communities living around bodies of water. So it's a well-known phenomenon, but fortunately the solutions are also well-known. The most obvious solution is that everyone in the watershed has to check their septic system and make sure it's working well. And when we say the watershed, we're not just talking about the people that live directly on the edge of the lake. It's a huge watershed. Sometimes it's hard to imagine because we may live far away from the lake. But the fact is, it's one water table inside the watershed, and all that water is going to the same place, and that place is these lakes. Then be careful about the nutrients you put on your garden, the fertilizers and the manure you put on your garden. Don't overdo it. And then look after your livestock, your farm animals, your pets, and make sure that the manure from your livestock, wherever you are in the watershed, is not just washing off into the water table. Make sure that between your home and the lake is fully planted, that you haven't disturbed the plants along the lake shore, and if you have, to replant the lake shore. If we come to a place and we want to live in a place because it's beautiful, we have to take some responsibility to keep it that way, keep it wild, keep it clean, keep it beautiful.